In those days, the 60s and 70s, that the future of transportation lay away from roads. I mean, we're not the only country that suffered from that misconception, but in our case, it has proved very costly. So we've now embarked on a very extensive program of expanding and developing our rail infrastructure. And we think that there's space there for, and we know also that it's an area where your country has a lot of expertise and capabilities. That's one of the things about this. Clearly, the economic relations are important. Equally important are the governance relationship. Ghana is a seriously committed and functioning democracy. We are not a 99% yes referendum democracy. We have contested elections here in the period of the Fourth Republic, which is now some 30 years almost. Next year will be 30 years of the Fourth Republic. We've had 3 changes of government through the ballot box, something that a lot of people always thought was impossible, both for our country and even in our continent. But we've seen that happen in Ghana. The elections have gone on without shaking the foundations of the state. And this culture, the people voting in and out in governments, is one that is increasingly deeply rooted in our body politic.
Some of our USAID programs and what the investments of U.S. tax dollars are really providing for Ghana Without Aid agenda that we are very supportive of. We are here also to reinforce our strong relationship between Ghana and the United States. Many of us have been here or have ties to this great country. You know my relationship to Ghana, and it's very special for me, and we are just blessed to be able to be here and to be able to go back to the United States and make recommendations for strengthening our relationships. And so we'll also be conducting oversight of our foreign assistance programs, and we've been able to visit. It was the fishing harbor and the canoe village in Tema, and also the shea processing plant we visited yesterday. Very excited to see the progress in the manufacturing and production and processing of shea butter. And so we intend to continue to work with you to strengthen these relations, and I'll just...
Oswafo hwenkita udi hu nsem eso ye mame eslosu ekufo na odi ato Ghana for enim se SIM card no bi on register enhwe se obe register.
It's important that we all register our SIM cards for various reasons, including security, because some people are hiding behind the anonymity and defrauding people and using their phones and other SIM-connected devices for criminal purposes. That's why it's important that we all register our SIM cards. Witnessing the crowds that were present at the SIM registration sites just before the deadline of 31st July, we thought it wise that we should extend it briefly to enable those who wanted to register their SIM cards. As soon as the deadline was extended, all the crowds vanished. We knew that would happen. Let me just use this medium to encourage everyone who wants to register their SIM card to do so. This deadline, clearly, we've given more time for people to do it. We have 2 months within which to do it. If we sit down and wait till the very last minute, and we're not giving the opportunity to utilize our phones again because the devices, the SIM cards are deactivated, please don't blame ESLA, the NCA, or your network provider. We will not wait until September before we come again. As I indicated in my press statement last Sunday, by the end of August this month, the process will be reviewed again. We're reviewing it constantly, but we will collect the evidence to see, one, whether people are actually registering as we expect them to. 2, why they are not registering. And 3, what we can do to encourage them to register. It will be more expensive to use an unregistered SIM than it is to use a registered SIM, because your data will go quicker if you haven't registered your SIM. You will also be denied the use of certain services to remind you that your SIM card is not registered. And hopefully these and other measures that we're putting in place at the end of August will encourage those who haven't registered their SIMs then to do so. If after all that, September 30th comes around and there are still people who haven't registered, we would not be held responsible for any consequential measures that we take. And we're very serious about that.
Enipa bɛyɛ ahanan ne nkron no magye teteye apɔ mo se prison officer ne ayɛ hyehyɛ adwo mo kwan nam so mo so afa be de akire a wɔhwɛ fisem so akasa de atodwa so mo bayi ɔmɛyɛ adwuma moa ma prison ne dwe fie hyehyɛ no kwan nimu.
Nipa baako ahanan ne nkron 409 ene onya akwanya kokopie mu e prison officers training school nkan a wagye ntete awia mpinfo ya mamere ne amane edi eja won kwan na nipa yi emu 232 eye mema ene emu 177 eye ema na dwumadie na ase no na deputy minister of interior odumanyanfo na eyi akwansa yakasa wase ene wode to officers ni nyina nim so wo hwe hu ne se babie de obi abeto no adeduafo wo honom no onkonko yo mo basabasa na emu dwumadie ade ahye wonsa no ene obehwe adiso.
As part of government's diligent initiative and effort to improve the staffing needs of the service, a total of 2,000 young men and women were recruited to beef up both the senior and junior corps of the service. This has greatly enhanced the staff strength and operational capacity of the service. Recruit course 120 is the third of 4 recruit courses run this year. The course comprises 409 recruit officers. The figure is made up of 232 young men and 177 young women. The recruits are mostly general duty personnel and artisans. The recruits had an intensive training program which placed emphasis on the practical day-to-day aspects of prison and offender management. The training program was carefully put together to ensure that the recruit officers require the necessary knowledge and skills to shoulder the responsibilities that lie ahead of them. As new corps of prison officers, you must abide by the rules and regulations that pertain to your official duties. Respect the human rights of prisoners and relate to them in kind and professional manner. Also, bear in mind that the Ghana Prison Service strives discipline and opposes the idea of vigilance, humility, determination, and integrity. These principles should guide you throughout your career. You must work hard, avoid acts of indiscipline, and serve as a good ambassador to your fellow officers and the inmates as well. I must once again commend you for going through this demanding training as officers. I say Ayiko.
Ghana Health Service edi dwuma etwe omanfo adwene esisu se nufusua yede emma enkoda ehia papa we nyina aka 2022 World Breastfeeding Week a empanyifo no ehye mukena no eho.
Ghana Health Service empanyifo enafe World Health Organization yetwanitia efro WHO enafe United Nations Children's Fund yetwanitia efro UNICEF wo nyina naka wontoma edi apam ho edi na wotwi mu esi ho no mobode wuro edi afa no fo enom ho 2022 World Breastfeeding Week. Na dwumadi opa ho ntoma na se no ena opanyin kwankyerefo Ghana Health Service odano. Dr. Patrick Kuma Boaje ekasa wase na wochiri mu a ogina dwumadie su no de kasa kire ama wofo nyina sese wo ba sa wo a eya busumi nsia na wo se wo abofra no ma no ho kwan no nom no fo saa na emu odin a bibia enka ho na busumi nsia kire no afi obetimi de aduane bi akeka ho anyi nyina na beboa ama abofra na pomden atumi asipi na asita wo de no so to nchen abofra wa ma no fo kura no na nya mfinhia mienu o kire nsemu sei.
Ladies and gentlemen, we in the Ghana Health Service, together with our partners, have accepted the Start Right, Feed Right from birth up to 2 years campaign as an overarching campaign for the country to encompass activities related to promotion of breastfeeding and complementary feeding. This year's Breastfeeding Week celebrated under the themes Step Up for Breastfeeding and Educate and Support has the following objectives. One is to inform stakeholders about their role in strengthening the warm chain of support for breastfeeding, to anchor breastfeeding as part of the good nutrition, food security, and reduction of inequalities, to engage with individuals and organizations along the warm chain support for breastfeeding, and to galvanize action on strengthening capacity of actors and system for transformational change.
Nanu achire no openyin akokopie mu e Ghana Health Service adwumakuo no ma oda wana no so behwe hu ni se nnuane e de ma mmofra no benya mu nnuane duro nyina potoka samu no acting deputy director of nutrition Veronica Kwati enso kasa chire mu emfa so ewo mu se mmofra ye behwe so mo no fo busumi nsientemu a yemfa bibia entwintwa mu
as soon as obi befa ye fun no yenhu se akra no ye wuna ye be ma no funso na mfa ye mfa hye ye tremu se akra no ye wuna no funso no aduane obedi for the first 6 months enti obia mboa na ye support mamefo no se na ebe ya on betumi ama no funso no ye support omo ye mboa omo with household work no adwuma e wo fie no ye wo fie no ye mboa omo mame na bra yen so akwara no mu na mame no rest se na be ye osore na akwara no penofo na ye betumi dia momo afa yen so ye wo adwuma ye employ mothers no ye make sure say ye be pe baby mame no resume from work no de akwara no ba adwuma obenya baby de akwara no ato se na be ya ye ma break obetumi akoma akwara no nufo ana se o pe baby kra na wa pump ne breast milk no se na be ya o coffee o de be ma akwara na ye benya baby a secure place a private place obetumi aye expression no se na be ya obetumi di express na omontumi ma akwara no nufo no 6 months exclusively no for kwa for first 6 months akwara no nya 6 months e kono yam pedwane papa enka nufonso no ho but yan toa so ama na nufonso no kopim se akwara no benya 2 years and now bru 2 years poa so obetumi ye betuma yenye ne saa.
UTV enyume ndo aka nkase bo na otwe wie ye de no na wo hwe no ye da ye ne ye ho aba na ye ba afia ene abihwafo ba betena se edi nkomo de afa Ghana ho ehia wo eyasem hia panti twen na TV ye ba sesia